Good evening to our episode number 32. Tonight, it's basically myself, and if anybody else on the line that wants to speak up, they are most welcome. Terry Palma, my co-host, is ill, possibly has COVID, and so he will not be joining us tonight, and we certainly wish him well as he moves through the illness, and I feel he's going to be just fine. So with that, I thought I'd get on with what we're going to talk about tonight. First of all, I wanted to tell everybody I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I did, and I do talk about change fairly often, almost every episode, and I found myself bucking change. And so, boy, did I get a little swift kick in the you-know-what. And once I finally gave that up of what I have traditionally done, things opened up beautifully. So it was eye-opening for me, and I have to admit sometimes I buck my own advice, and then I get reminded. And indeed, we need these reminders, and it's like, come on, we're all in this together here. So that, and also we're only a couple days away from 2021. So it's going to be an interesting year, 2021. So some things have come forth regarding 2021. We did talk about that in the last two episodes, and I just thought I would speak about it a little bit more. I do feel things are going to get more interesting as they are right now. That's a word I like to use is interesting. Some people are going to love it, and some people are going to be a little fearful. And to fear this will pull you in, and it might not be a place you want to be. So let go of the fear, because all is in according to the divine plan. So keep that in mind, even though you may say to yourself, as I've said to myself, I can't believe this is happening. However, I can believe it's happening because we have designed this and we have created this, and things are happening big time now. Not only are we seeing the political systems change, the governmental systems change, we're going to see big changes in the financial systems. Not quite sure what that's going to look like yet, but I was told a long time ago that we're going to go into a unity financial system. Now, this does not mean one type of currency, but a system that's more equal around the world. But it's going to be a while before we get to that point because of what has been going on with, again, I'm going to use the word systems, of governmental systems and, some more dictator-type systems that are out there that I feel are definitely unraveling, and we're seeing what that is and how that's affected humanity, and humanity is saying no more. So, anyway, getting into January of 2021, I feel a lot more is going to be revealed as it is happening even today. But more will come out, and just hang in there and know that everything is going to work out just fine. Regarding the election, the presidential election in the United States, of course, that happened back in November, but so much is more coming out on that. And I did get the information that there's a possibility there will not be an inauguration on January the 20th. So, but not sure how that's going to work out. It depends upon how things continue to unfold, and we'll see. We'll all see. And but just hang in there, and one of the big things is just love yourself, be yourself, and be kind, be nice, be gentle. All of these things, because a lot of people will get into that fear, and we're here to help them too. So that's that. Okay. Do I have any comments from anybody that is listening? All right.
Heidi ho.
Oh, go ahead. Hey there,
hey,
this is Royse.
Yes, this is Royse.
Yay.
Just wanted to make mention of we're in the midst of the 13th full moon of this year. And the key 13 in the tarot is the death card, and we know that death is it's more like transition. I think would be a better word than death, because we have bad thoughts about the word death. We don't die, so it's not having to do with that. It's transitioning instantaneously, the smooth flow from one thing into another, the end of one thing into the birth of another. So it's good sign.
That's interesting. People look at that number 13 and they're scared of it, but it's really as what you said, it's the death card, but it's actually, I was also hearing rebirth in my head. Yeah, and it's that transitioning that that's going on right now, humanity and the earth, and I was going to bring some of that up in just a bit. One of the things, I was looking for something today, and in my file, which I usually do before we do these podcasts, and I came across the writing that I did a little less than a year ago, and it's called 2020. And this is before we knew that the COVID was going to be in a thing, and all the disruptions, et cetera, that has happened this past year. And a couple things that I mentioned in here was lead by example and speak up and speak out and let the world know there's change happening. This year you think things are happening. Yes, they are. But we're in charge of this change, and it's time to speak up and not think back. Speak your truth, and because all the truths are being exposed, and the more that you know yourself, your true self, that is a catalyst for change. So become the catalyst for change, and that continues from last year and on and on and on. So one of the things that I did get last year, it says aim high in your consciousness, and they said the turning point is almost here. And I thought, that turning point has come up quite a few times in the last few months. So I thought that was interesting. Also had written all is churning and being revealed. And again, this is the time of the big revelations, the great revelations, the big reveal, all these words that we have used. So it's happening, guys. So this morning, as I was waking up, I kept hearing the word the ascent. And I heard it quite a few times, and I finally came out of my sleep. Obviously, I was in that in-between stage of waking up. And so I decided to ask about why I was getting that information. And, of course, I got a reply. And what I was saying, the ascent, I had heard and wrote down, indeed, it is that time of the great awakening into areas of life not yet known in your physical reality. You soon will be realizing the complexity of your current life into multi-faceted existence. This is not to say you don't feel that now. However, and that word however, how we're doing it ever, really is no time. It will become more obvious in ways not yet demonstrated in your reality or perceived reality. So I asked give me a hint about more information. Excuse me, I have a little congestion going on. All right. I was told will be as if you jumped into a new paradigm. You will see things differently. Your capabilities will be more complex. One moment, you may ask yourself, how did I get here? And then you will know, absolutely no. Space will be viewed differently. Your moving through space will be easy and effortless. Will you travel to other planets? You already do. Will you witness other civilizations? You already do. You are or are realizing you already are your own internet. And so that's the title of this episode, You Are Your Own Internet. I thought that was pretty cool. As you know, Earth systems are breaking down, and these systems were there to serve as a base until other forms of life infiltrated these systems for their own nefarious ways. And you said, no more. You now are on your merry way to create and explore together many types of life, often shielded in your current physical life, yet the blinders are being removed. In your current perceived reality, many people and systems are being exposed to usher in this new paradigm, and the nefarious ones are still fighting back. Talked about this the last episode too. Pardon me. Their antics will soon foil as they are the abyss. Many people who have been looked up to with their so-called great knowledge are being forced to remove their masks. This will create more pandemonium until all Earth peoples remove their masks. It will be as a switch turned on. Hold fast as these revelations make themselves known. So that ends what I received today. So do you have any, Royse, you still there? Do you have any comments on that?
Oh, I'm still here. No, I don't have anything.
All right, great. So things are indeed happening, and one of my writings I turned to today is called The Book of Jerome, and it's in my first book of the Mystery of the Universes. And Jerome means, of course I looked things up, G-E-R, means to gather, to awaken. And Om, many people call that the sound of God. So it's the sound of creation. And within this writing, they said that our planets, and it's now in its final stages. So this is Gaia, Earth, whatever you want to call it. Of course, Gaia is the consciousness. The Earth is the physical aspect of this bound ball we're living on. Anyway, they said that the Earth has come from its infancy into its adolescence, and it has gained the knowledge of the thousands of star systems who have had a hand in its development. And so that's to all of you listening. You are many of those that have decided to come to this Earth, be a part of what is going on now, because this Earth is such a beacon. And even I've heard people say this is a prison planet, blah, blah, blah. And yes, we've had things happen with this Earth, and earlier mentioned the nefarious ones, but it's actually this beacon because all of these star systems, all of us have come together for this new Earth. And just think about how incredible that is. And and Gaia, with again talking about the nefarious ones, but she's come into her own power, but refuses to dislodge us, or humanity, who have served her in many cases. Some have abused her, and we're all saying no more. However, she rejoices at the fact that she has risen in her awareness of her own soul, and she will now determine what is for her highest good, taking humanity with her. She will shake off those who are not in accordance to her plan, and she will release those who have deceived her. She will maintain all who have come to assist her in her development as a star being. She has found her new frontier. So I feel that's what's going on right now. And there's things happening. There's a big earthquake today, for instance, in Croatia. I think it was a 6.4. So that doesn't mean we're going to go through a series of a lot of earth changes. I don't think that's going to be necessary as long as humanity wakes up and understands who and what they are. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because it's happening, and it's happening now. So that's that. Any comments?
Well, I think it's a wonderful thing that the earth and her inhabitants are raising up together,
Yeah, exactly. She feels, everything we feel, and we're synchronistic with her. And realize everything that's on this earth, everything, the birds. And I know, Royce, you have affinity with the birds. And when we've been together, Royce will talk to them. And she can sing just like the birds, and they'll sing right back. And it's funny because, she'll make I hope you don't mind me talking about this, Royce, but I love seeing this. I know. They'll talk back and forth, and you may make a couple little sounds, and the bird will come back with two sounds, and then you'll make three, or the bird may make two, and then you go back and forth, and who the birds are. I really don't know who's who or what type of bird it is, but it's just fascinating to watch the interplay.
And they are. Excuse me.
Nope. Go ahead.
They are so they're so patient with me, because there will be some times when I'm really trying to mimic their sound, and they can tell that I'm making an effort, but it's not coming out as planned, and they'll make sounds like they sound like they're laughing.
They may be. That's what tells you about the consciousness of all these little beings. And, we've used that term bird brain. And you're like, those bird brains are pretty smart. They may be small, but they're pretty smart. And they're tuned into the earth. They're turned into the electromagnetic forces of the earth, the winds, all of this. So it's fascinating to see the interplay of life on this earth. And humanity is starting to realize how precious it all is. So you're seeing. Go ahead.
I kind of jumped back to what you were talking about before about we are our own internet.
Yes.
Is that how you worded it?
Yes.
Okay, and I was thinking about when we are in sync with that which is around us, and we're getting that communication, going through us, and it's a hardwired thing. We know it to be true,
Yeah.
It's just so wonderful. But when we slip into those places of, well, maybe I'm just daydreaming, or maybe I'm making this all up, and we fall into that place of doubt, that's a place where we get ourselves messed up. And I found this quote by William Shakespeare. I don't know what year it was written, but it goes like this: our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we might win by fearing to attempt. And I just think that is so profound.
Yeah, it is.
When we stay in tune, everything goes smoothly. But when we start falling into doubt, it all falls apart, and we we don't realize our potential because we lose it,
We'll brush it off.
Yeah.
Just saying, "Oh, I'm making this up. It's not real." We are making it up, but it's because we're creating our own reality. So yes, we're making it up, but that is what reality is. It's our creative forces. Correct?
Creative imagination.
There you go. Yeah. Imagination, image, coming to life.
Yep.
Yeah. So, talking about the earth, and one of the things that I was given about, that we're becoming the shining diamond of the cosmos. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about before, and that is, a lot of people say, I went out of this place, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Do you realize, again, that's what this whole talk tonight is about, is realizing how grand it all is. And
yeah, we're not finished
start looking at it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're not finished yet.
We're not at all finished.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, it's like, hang in there. And it's, look at the beauty. Come on. And it's like, what they call them, Debbie Downers. It's like, no, come on, look at the beauty. And realize the words that we use and how that feels in our own bodies. All of this, and again, we've talked about this in other episodes, but it does mean a lot. It's like, it's like when you're talking about earlier, Royce, about doubting. And when you start doubting, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, pretty awful.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing this to ourselves for? But, at least we're noticing it. And it's like, okay, pick yourself up and keep going. It's like, quit doubting. And, because it's our perceived reality, and we're going to realize a much bigger reality than we ever dreamed of. And it's going to be magnificent. And I think earlier I said we're going to be traveling to different planets, which we already do, yet we don't realize it. And so as we're making these changes, we're going to start realizing all the capabilities we have. And it will seem magical, but it's really not. But it is to our old belief systems. So
yeah, and you can liken all of this to art. You can see how art has progressed through the ages, and you look at a person's life and see how their perception of art has changed individually. A baby might their palette is what they might find in their diaper, and they draw a really pretty picture on the wall with that. It's beautiful to them. But as you grow older, you find some delicate paints, and they get more refined as time goes on, and so the picture that you paint is much more beautiful. But you have to have the eye to see it. The eye has to mature, the knowingness, the intellect. It's all growing, and that's what the earth is doing. It's just, man, it's just exciting.
It's very exciting. Again, earlier tonight talked about removing our mask, and I realized it said mask. What are we wearing? It's not necessarily in front of our eyes, but it's over our nose and our mouth. And you start thinking about removing those masks, so you're seeing through your eyes, but you do have a voice, and there's an internal voice, and then we can speak out what we call external voice, and it's really time to use those voices if you want.
Yep.
But speak your truth, speak it up. And back in that 2020 writing, the last sentence says, and I really liked it, says, be honest, be truthful, be vigilant, be trustworthy, and be loving with yourself. Yeah. And then, and only then, will you be the same with everyone else. So like, it's big. It's big.
Yes.
And we're starting to realize that all this stuff is happening now. And it's what, to me, it's what both of us are saying. It's so darned exciting to see this come to fruition. And, many of us have been on this spiritual path, if you want to call it as such, awakening, for 20, 30, 40 years. And we're starting to see so many big changes, and it's so exciting. And it's like, okay, we are the shining diamond in the sky, and precursor of other civilizations. All of this stuff is us. We're the created, and we are the creator, both. So that, to me, is even though we're going through all these things in 2021, or we've gone through 2020, so enabled us, just with the COVID, to go inside, understand ourselves, and, we're alone with ourselves a little bit more this past year, but we realized a lot more by doing that. And now we're saying, okay, let's keep going on this. Not keeping ourselves quiet, but starting to speak out and removing those masks that have kept us quiet. And the breakdown of the old systems, we're seeing that, and the new systems are coming online. So, again, it's exciting. And look around at all of nature, all of it. So it's pretty amazing. All right, do you have any more to say about 2021, Royse?
Oh, man. Sky's the limit, man.
It's beyond the skies.
The sky is not the limit.
The sky is not the. By the way, talking about the skies, there have been there's quite a few websites that bring up a lot of the UFO stuff or interesting sky phenomena, and some of the stuff that has been shown and photographed recently is phenomenal, and a lot of ships. Some big armadas of ships have been spotted, or you see a bunch of lights, put it that way. Now, can I say they're ships? But they're pretty high. I don't think they're all drones. I think that was over Los Angeles recently. Beams of light that shown came from what appeared to be a ship down into the waters of Puerto Rico. I think that was a week ago or so. Croatia, a big beam of light that, it was bright, like the sun was shining, a beam of light right on the earth, but it wasn't from the sun. All these things are happening now. The monoliths that we talked about in the last two episodes, I think Terry brought those up. From my understanding, now I have not looked this up, but my understanding, there's a lot more all around the world. And again, I don't think they're by any one artist and putting them in special places, and you need special saws to put them into some of the stone and all this. Nah, I don't think that's happening. So there are a lot of our brothers and sisters of the cosmos, or whatever terminology you want to use, they have some of these technologies. And so they use them, and it's probably more like a laser light, but and they are, I'm calling them plant, or placing some of these monoliths and certain ley lines on ley lines around the earth. And where this is going to take the earth, don't know, but I think last episode, it's going to be used as more communication devices. So much more is coming up, and it's happening now, and we're going to find out more this next year, and it shall continue. Well, I'm getting all excited. So yeah. So it's again, think about how wonderful this is. So, here comes 2021. Going to be interesting, but it's going to be really fantastic too.
Wouldn't it be interesting to have people from out in the cosmos living next door?
Yeah. Guess what? You may already.
Yep.
But you just don't know it. Yeah. But some of them, you're right. Some of them are not going to look like you and I. And some of them, I think, can morph. In my third eye, I've seen a lot of different beings. And a lot of them are human-ish like. Some of them are not. And but you'll be able to tell just by the feel of these beings and their love because there's a lot of people that have seen them, and Royse, I think you're one of them, and some of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you speak on that.
Well, I've seen probably 8 to 10 different types myself, and they're just as varied in character as we are. You can't put them in a box any more than you can put us in a box. Some you would love to have as your neighbor, and some you'd rather not.
Yes. I think those are some of those beings you'd rather not, and you'll be able to feel that because the loving ones, you're not scared of them at all because they exude so much love.
Yep.
And they're here to work with us, and they are us in a way because we're all one within the Creator. So and the ones that are the nefarious ones are leaving; they can't be here, and so that's exciting because there's a lot of people that have put some of these nefarious ones on a pedestal, and when that pedestal breaks down, is no longer there. They start turning in more into themselves, or finding the truth and understanding that they are the truth, or it's already in them. They are the internet. So we are our own intranet. So we won't even have need of communication system as the internet is now. So to me, that's extremely exciting, and we're going to start using it more, and less doubt, and less doubt, and less doubt, because we're going to be feeling that, as you mentioned, Royse. It doesn't feel very good when you have that doubt.
Yeah.
It's confusing, and it's like all that confusion is going to eventually fade. So that's that. Well, it's been interesting, and thank you all for joining us tonight. And we'll be back in a couple weeks. And I'm not sure what that date is. 2 weeks from tonight. So if any of you want to tune in, you can. And the number to call if you want to be part of our conversation or add to it, we would definitely appreciate that. It's under freeconferencecall.com. The number is 712-775-7031. And the access code is 793-152-247. And then you hit the pound key. And then you'll be guided as just hold on. And then if you are listening to the show, we prefer you mute yourselves until you can speak. But if you'd like to speak up, and we welcome any questions, comments, that sort of thing from you. Anything else you want to speak about, Royse?
Well, I believe the date of the next one is going to be the 12th, January the 12th.
Okay. Thank you for looking that up. All right. So January 12th. So a lot of things are going to be happening by the 12th. So it might be a really great show, and we look forward to that day too. But in the meantime, enjoy every day, every minute of your existence, because look around all the wonderful life that surrounds you everywhere, and this earth again is becoming a most magnificent place. It already is, but it's coming more so. All right. Anything else? Any other questions and comments? You can leave those on our YouTube page called Conscious gatherers. And the other thing is some of you are subscribed, have subscription, and I do send out acknowledgement of these podcasts. And so some of you do write. And I appreciate your comments. They've been most kind. And it's really nice to know how what we share affects everybody, and it's what we're here for. It's just to help wake everybody up, and we do it with love, and we appreciate you all being a part of this too. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Royse. Any parting thoughts?
I don't think so. Besides, Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year to you all. And have a wonderful, wonderful transition from 2020 to 2021. Good night.
Good night.